We'll notify you once you begin your broadcast.
Okay, I don't know what happened. We were there and we weren't. Uh, Unmuting, folks. Unmuting again. And Brent and Brady. How strange. And unmuting. All right, well, that made for some great comedic television, didn't it? Um, anyway, I was saying I record this on a larger screen and I get really big files. When I record it on the small 13, it works great, and I have to convert it over to YouTube anyway, because if we go too long, we end up with the file not having the audio catch up with the video. So um, let's go over. As I am recording, yes, doing that. And down to the questions. Thank you. Yep. Yep. Okay. So on the blog, this is where all the assignments, critiques, everything will be living here on this blog page. And the way you access it is, of course, going into the login and then hitting the login button here. When you get there, it'll say link to assignment page and blog. So you're good to come in that way, and don't don't share that login with folks. You'll see that today is Thursday. I put up the new assignment. This is the next 2 weeks assignment. So every Thursday you will see a new assignment on here. This is not to panic you because you're still working on the first assignment. It's just that we work 2 weeks out. So you always have 2 weeks to work any assignment. That's why we're doing the little session today, and then um, you'll have a 2 week window to do the stranger portrait, which you should be halfway through that time. We'll look at those next time, and 2 weeks to do this particular one. So as we roll, you have an assignment every week, and it takes you 2 weeks to do them. So you'll be working uh, coinciding on it. If you want to find the critiques real quick, just click on the categories. We have three: critiques, assignments, and information. If you want to see all the assignments, just click on the assignments and it'll bring you all the way to the assignments. Anytime you want to search for something in the search box, let's say you're looking for assignment 2 or assignment 22, use the parentheses to find it and you will find what you're looking for. If you just type in assignment 1, you'll find everything with assignment. So use the parentheses to find what you need, and you'll find it real quick. The assignments themselves have this little guy right down here. This is our upload tool. Now it's kind of cool because it works very well and it'll upload your file. It will not change file names. So if you've uploaded a file and then 2 days later you have a better post process version of it, just upload it. Don't change the name, just upload it and it'll wipe out the old one and put the new one in. So that makes things very, very nice, very easy on our end to do it. Let's talk a little bit about file names because that's very, very important. Man, you want to drive me crazy. Do it wrong because, and you have to consider, we've got 50 people on here for 2 days of webinars each week. So if someone puts in a file name that says JPG, image1.jpg, I don't know who that is. I don't know where it goes. And as we're doing 2 weeks at a time, some people may be uploading 2 assignments, getting one done quicker than the other, and it sits in the folder for me to take out for the show. That's a problem. So please, let's look at the naming convention. There's only two, FERS or SAT. You're going to choose which day you're going to do the webinar on with me, either Thursday or Saturday. And if something comes up, by the way, I'm really easy to deal with. Don't worry about it. If something comes up, go ahead and upload your Thursday into Saturday if you have to do the Saturday one. And just let me know by email. Say, Don, I had to go Saturday, uploaded it, so you don't have to do mine on Thursday. Easy, easy peasy, as they say. So real easy to do. So then the assignment number, ASSIGN number. So if it's assignment number 22, that's what it's, ASSIGN 22 dash your first name dash your last name .jpg. Please no PNGs, no GIFs, just JPEG, please. It's very, very important that we do that. If we don't really take care of this, it just makes it so much harder for me. I get these files actually in a folder on my WordPress that I then take out and through FileZilla, put it on my desktop, and then reload them into the gallery. That also means that if we come on here at Thursday night at 6 o'clock, and at 6:15 someone comes on and says, "Oh, I just uploaded my picture." Um, if I have to stop and go and upload the picture, that's really not good form for the other folks who are on here who did upload in time. So please, please take care of that. If you have EXIF data turned on and you're filling out your EXIF data, if you put your name in the image name field, that will work because uh, the uploader or the WordPress will see the EXIF data. It'll see the EXIF data. So please put your name in the image name field. Instead of tree on a hill, put Bob Smith. So that will come out, okay? And that comes out at the bottom of the image when it's displayed. So it's real simple to do. It's a lot of fun. And you've got a couple of different ways to participate. We have, looks like I've got the loader on there twice. The loader will always work. It will not break. It's pretty simple. And the way this blog works versus the other one for the other pros, I don't have to worry about it because it's always on the second page. So are there any questions about files, etc., naming conventions? Anybody at all? You can unmute yourself and pop right in. It's not a problem. I'm going to unmute Scott Williams. Scott, you're unmuted and you're live. So if you'll mute yourself, that would be very good. And Duran Barry, I've unmuted you, Duran. So if you'll mute yourself, please, that would be great. Okay. All right. Second thing on images is we really have to watch our weight on the images. We're always watching our weight. Use Save for Web, please, and use a JPEG setting of 60. That will make your file pretty small. If you put 1,000 by 600 image full JPEG and you send it to me, it can be as big as 2 megabytes. If you take it through Save for Web, it can go down as low as 140 megabytes, which means it'll load really, really fast. Okay, how do you sign up for the webinars? Or better question is it important to sign up for the webinars? Absolutely. If it doesn't matter if you sign up or not, you can always attend the webinars. But when you sign up, you'll get a notification the day before and a notification an hour before. So if you forgot or life gets in the way, etc., you'll get that notification. So it's always really good. Now I was notified there were 24 people that were going to attend this and only 19 did. I'm hoping that those other 5 didn't just simply forget. Okay? So that's it on the website. When you upload photographs to Project 52 on this particular group, I will start making each month, there will be a gallery of our top images here. So that's another reason why, as I noted in here, please put your name on the photographs so that you get credit for them. we want to show the world the great work that you're all doing here. We haven't been able to do that on the other Project 52 Pros, but we're getting there. Going to get there next week. So, any questions on any of that? Everybody makes sense? Everybody knows what Save for Web is, et cetera, et cetera?
I have a quick question on that, Don.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want us to physically put our name on the picture itself,
Yeah, right down in the right hand
like
corner or the left
like a
hand corner.
watermark?
Yeah, like a watermark.
Okay.
Make it small, please. So it's there, it's readable, but it doesn't gum up the photograph.
Okay.
So yeah, that way, even if you forget the naming convention, when the picture comes up on the screen, we'll know who did it, and we won't even have to worry about the naming convention. That'll be like you know not a big problem. Um, the only problem for me is where do I put it and how do I upload it? But I can figure that out pretty well by looking at the picture. But if you have your name on it, like a little watermark down in the lower corner, that'll be fantastic. Okay. Anything else? Anyone? All right. I hope you've got your Project 52 first worksheet out in front of you and the introduction. Actually, there were two of them. There's the worksheet and then the introduction. And if you've gone through it, you know that I have some goals that are very important to me. I want everybody to improve their photography. I don't do that through beating you over the head, but I don't do that by letting you slide either. We will definitely have some critiques where people don't measure up to that. Let's hope we have lots of those because, folks, you learn more from not getting it done than you do from getting it done. So, and if you're already getting it done, that's great. I'll push you to a higher level anyway. One of the things that is sort of my mantra is the, 2 to 3 to 5% growth, and that's uh, on page 3 is where we talk about that. You know, there are so many great athletes out there in the world that can do amazing things. And the difference between an athlete that does something really amazing and an athlete that is very, very good, it's not that they're 50% better. It's not that they're, you know, just twice as good. They're just a little bit better. Everybody who plays basketball on the NBA team is pretty darn good. Not going to, we're not going to tackle them and have any luck of beating them. The people who excel, the Michael Jordans, et cetera, are only a little good by a little bit. So let's take that into photography and say, what if we, as photographers, get to a certain point where we're doing very well? We're understanding our lighting and et cetera, and now we start pushing ourselves to get 5% better every year. 5%. What if we said we want to make 5% more money next year than this year in photography? This is after we're doing okay. It's not like if you're making 1,000 next year, you want to make 1,050. That's really not going to work. We're talking, let's say you're making 65 and you want to make some more. Let's make 5% a goal, a minimum goal. And then maybe the next year, another 5%, next year, another 5%. Well, now you're 15% up. That's 15% compounded up. So when we build upon our successes, we want to make those things incremental and have them make sense. The next assignment that I post will have links to um, the Udemy classes that I have for you all. I don't want you to get lost into them. Do them if you want, and great, but we will be kind of going through some of those classes as a group here. I want to get a feeling, and I'll get a feeling when I get the stranger shots. I want to get a feeling of where everybody is, with their photography and where they are. Are they already on the path? Are they really just starting out? So that's one way for me to measure that. it's a really, really interesting process to watch some people come into Project 52 and just blast to the top. They just really start to get it. I don't know how many of you have ever done assignments. We're going to have everybody introduce themselves. We've got 19 people on here, and we take about 30 or 40 seconds to chat. We'll be able to get an idea of who you are and what you're about, see if there's any questions. So I am going to start at the top alphabetically. When you're doing the webinars, it's great to have a microphone and your computer at a distance so it doesn't feed back. I use a directional microphone. I use a thing called a Blue Snowball. Actually, it's called a Snowball by Blue, and it's directional. So it faces me and it doesn't pick up my computer when my computer's talking behind it, as long as it's not blasting. So if you don't have something like that or a headset, that would be great. Let's find out. Let's find out from Anne. Anne, you want to unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are?
Hi, Don.
Hi, how are
Hi,
you?
everyone. Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Good. I'm good. Okay, cool. Um, Actually, I'm just, my name is Anne Wahome. My last name is Wahome. And I'm actually just getting started in photography. I'm really a beginner. I had started taking some of your class in Udemy. So that's where I'm at right now.
Okay. Which class are you taking at Udemy?
And then I decided to take the Project 52, yes. The natural light class.
Ah, okay. Good. Where are you calling in from?
Uh-huh. From Rockville, Maryland.
Maryland?
That's like in the DC area.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Very cool.
Uh-huh.
I'm glad to have you here. Let's go to Bob
Okay,
White.
thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks, Ann. Let's go to Bob White. Bob, you out there?
Oh, I hope so.
You are indeed. Tell us a little bit
All
about
right.
yourself, Bob.
Well, my name's Bob White, just like the bird. Been shooting probably 30 some odd years, trying to make a living at it only for the last couple of years. Looking forward to pushing myself past my comfort zone and actually learning something.
Good.
And, I reside just off the 45th parallel in northern Michigan.
North Michigan. All right.
Yeah.
Glad to have you here. And
Glad to be here.
great. We'll go over to Brent Davis. Brent, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about what Brent Davis is up to.
Hello.
Hi, Brent.
Boy, 30 seconds. Well, hi. I've been dabbling in photography probably for about 30 years. When I was in college, I worked for second largest newspaper in Washington State. And for a time, I thought about trying to make a go of it back then. But I didn't exactly have a father who thought a liberal arts background was the way to go in college. And he was paying part of the tuition. So that kind of fell to the wayside. So 30 some years later, I'm sneaking up on retirement from my day job, and my wife and I are actually kind of contemplating whether or not this could be a supplemental income for us, something to do together, because she's also a photographer.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just kind of one of those timely life events to stumble across this class and see where I can go with it.
Well, it's it's never too late. If you're calling in to say you want to be a fashion shooter in New York, I'd probably try to talk you out of it. But even then, it wouldn't necessarily be something. But it's a tough thing. But for editorial photographers and photographers who can work within the commercial industry, it's never too late. Nobody cares how old you are. So
Yeah, we got some interesting side gigs going where we're helping our city tourism board, work on promoting tourism. So in a way, we get kind of little assignments from them. Hey, can you go help us with this and that? So
Sure.
that's kind of been interesting too.
And where is that little city?
Oakdale? California.
Oakdale. That's just by right by
Yes.
uh, Ventura.
No, about 6 hours north of Ventura by Modesto on the way to Yosemite.
Okay, that Oakdale. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, that's Central Valley. Very cool. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
And we have Carl Cottrell. Carl, I sent you a pin.
Yep,
You're on your phone there. How are you?
I'm good. And I'm from the Atlanta, Georgia area. So I've been playing around with photography um, for about a year. So I took one of your classes, simple portrait photography.
Yep.
And then I also, one of my friends here, Richard King, I think was doing your Pro 52 for a while. And so I thought I would try it out.
Good. Well, stick with it, everyone. Just that's one thing that I will tell you. We have a certain amount of attrition. That I think that's just part of the nature of things. People get into it, maybe too much work or life gets in the way. We had one guy had to move. Those things happen. But of the
Yeah, he had a baby.
yeah,
He had a baby, had to move. He's building a new house. It kind of blew up on him halfway through the year. So
yep, absolutely, those things happen. Um, but you know the first time I did this, we started with 52 and we ended up with 28 on the last meeting. And of those 28 people, all but one had already done a professional job. And the one who hadn't got his in by February. So missed my mark, but I didn't miss it by much. So hang in there. I don't know if there's any harder business to get into than commercial photography, but at the same time, I don't know if there's any easier business to get into. I have a friend who's starting up a coding business. He's really struggling. So just hang in there. Duran Berry, how are you?
How you doing, Don?
Very
Can you
good.
hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm a photographer. I guess I've been shooting full time for about 7 years. I do a lot of schools, daycares, a lot of kids.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, here in New York, the daycare business is drying up because the city's getting out of daycares. So I find myself doing a lot of high school, which is pretty good. But
Mm-hmm.
high school photography or senior photography is different here in New York than it is anywhere else, because what they consider senior photography is them putting on the drape and the tux, and that's it.
Ah,
So yeah, so it's a little bit different. So I need to diversify and get into doing something else. So,
well, you live in a town where considerable amounts of photography happen, Duran.
well, you just don't know. There's a whole lot of them here, and
Yeah.
a whole lot suck.
Well, that's funny you say that. A friend of mine once said when I was working in New York, he said, "Wow, I'm working in New York." He says, all those great photographers." And I said, "You're right. There are a lot of great photographers, but there's a lot of photographers who suck here too. I mean, just because it's in New York doesn't mean it's automatically, great. It means it can be, but it can also suck."
uh, Everybody who picks up a camera thinks they're a photographer,
Well, there you go.
and they, uh, they jump in and find out that it isn't that easy.
No, it is not, and it never will be. Well, hang in there, Duran. I'm glad you're with us.
Okay.
Let's chat with George Villarreal. George Villarreal. How are you, George?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hello? Oh, okay. Don, it's an honor to be in your class. I fell in love with your stuff. I saw your Creative Live uh, workshop, and I've been following you ever since. I've been doing photography for about 3 years, and I'm kind of this year I kind of fell into I don't know, I just lost motivation or just a wall and I just don't know what to do anymore. So I saw your project with too, and hopefully this will get me out there and set up again.
Well, one thing I will tell you is you will not hurt for inspiration in this workshop because we will be giving you assignments every week. And I know some of you have been over the pro site. I don't know if you saw the pros new, the other pro group. Their new assignment is women's shoes, whether from a lifestyle or product thing. And it's going to be a blast to see what they come up with. So, and you'll have that same assignment as we get through to it. So,
Yeah,
whatever
I'm
you
really
like
looking.
to yeah,
Oh,
whatever you like to shoot.
yeah, I'm looking forward to assignments. So I think that'll get me out of my hump that I'm in. Just I'm at a standstill right now. So
Well, hang in there. Where are you calling in from, George?
oh, I'm sorry. I'm from McAllen, Texas. It's way south Texas, almost near the I guess
Yep,
near the border almost. But yeah, it's down there.
I know where McAllen is. I'm glad to have you here.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Yep.
Glad to be here.
All right. How about Gene Huang? Gene,
Oh,
I'm just sent you a pin. Are you there?
yes.
How are you?
Good. Can you hear me?
I can indeed. Where are you calling in from?
Hi, everyone. I'm calling from LA.
L.A.
Yeah.
I've never had a student from L.A. You're the first one.
Surprising. I got to
Well,
break that record.
LA has its own mindset. I think you're going to kick some butt over there when people see what you're doing in this workshop. They have their
Oh, I
own.
hope.
How long have you been shooting?
I've been shooting since 2009. I'm one of those people that fake it until you make it. So I started shooting, and all of a sudden I found my calling on the creative side.
Mm-hmm.
And I began as a natural life photographer and started shooting babies and stuff. I'm still, for the most part, doing portraits. But I'm always, as crazy as I am, I'm getting from the left brain kind of arena to the right brain. So nothing beyond my ability to receive. So I'm open to anything.
Excellent.
Actually, I creative live class on lighting and still life. I haven't done still life, but it's still very helpful in learning different things. It was
Well, it'll be fun to see what you do with some of these assignments with the still lifes and things. Hold on, I got somebody's unmuted there and causing
It's
a
not
little.
someone in LA though.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to have you here, Gene, and I look forward to seeing what you do.
I look
And
forward to learning from everyone.
good. Jeff Mills. Jeff, sir, how are you? I'm not seeing Jeff's icon change. Jeff, oh, there it is.
There I am. How are you, Don?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Where are you calling in from, Jeff?
I am in southwest Idaho.
Uh,
Little
is that Boise or?
well, I'm about 33 miles west of Boise,
Oh, okay.
between Boise and the Oregon state line.
Yeah,
So it's a
beautiful
little.
country up there. What kind of work are you doing up there now?
I am an IT professional for a small telecommunications company.
Mm-hmm. What kind of photography work are you doing on the side?
I'm doing mostly landscape type stuff right now. That's kind of what I'm drawn to usually.
How about, have you ever thought about adventure photography, hiking, backpacking, kayaking, that type of stuff?
Actually, I have. That's been one thing that I've been really looking at this year and looking at some places to go. There's some amazing country up here, and
Yes, there is. Well, we'll, we'll
that
keep we'll keep that in mind as we work through this thing. That's a
All right.
great thing to do. Thanks, Jeff. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
And Joel, I'm going to unmute you, Joel. Joel, are you out there? Joel Salison. Joel,
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. You're very weak. Very. Can you come closer to the mic?
How's that?
Yeah, much better. Way better.
Oh, good. Okay. Uh, I'm calling from Columbia, Missouri, and they have a journalism school here, which I
Yes.
actually attended.
Yes, they do. Probably the best in the nation.
Yeah, I went to the photojournalism program and shot for the local newspaper and things like that. I've been shooting probably for maybe 10 years seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm a little bit nervous as far as my abilities are concerned. I was in on the Project 52 of like a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I started, and everybody there seemed so much better than I that I just kind of gave up and put my tail
Okay.
between my legs and left.
Okay.
So I'm
Now,
hoping to do it better this time.
I hope so too, and I want everybody to listen to me chew out Joel. I mean, discuss something with Joel. Joel, no matter where you are in this business, there's somebody better.
Yeah,
And all that means is that there's room for improvement. And remember, while you're looking at that guy going, oh, man, he's so good. Or you just saw a gal's food stuff and you're thinking, oh, man, she's awesome, right? There's somebody looking at your stuff going, oh, man, he's really good. So no matter where you are, there's someone above you, there's someone below you. All that means is there's room to grow. And we can move from where we are. So hang in. Is they still running that photojournalism school there?
yeah, they sure are. They have pictures of the year and things like that.
Well, that's really scary to think that kids are getting student loans to become photojournalists today. Man, I would think that through really a lot. Thanks, Joel. Glad to have you
All right, thank
aboard.
you.
And I'm gonna if you'll mute yourself, then Joel and Ken Steed, I'm gonna bring you on, sir. Ken, are you there?
I'm here.
How are you?
I'm great. Representing Southwest Florida. I'm happy to be here, Don.
Southwest Florida. Oh, one of my favorite places. Anna Maria Island is Southwest Florida. Are you down near that?
I'm closer to Sanibel Captive area,
Sure.
down near Fort Myers.
Yeah, cool. Cool. How long
So
you been
I'm happy
shooting?
to be here. I'm a long-term photographer. Kind of got out of it for a little while. I take some of Joel's comments to heart. You know, everybody, is a little hard on themselves, and got the camera back out, took some shots, and made the cover of the local paper, and said, well, maybe what I need is a little discipline. So the discipline of this class is why I'm here, Doc.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad to have you here. And when I'm trying to get down to Florida in January, so we'll see if we can set something up and have a beer and sit on the beach there in Anna Maria. That's not far from where we are, right? Anna Maria isn't far from Fort Myers.
Anna Maria is a little bit farther north if I've got my geography right. But yeah, if you get down this way, definitely we'll have to hook up.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks for being here. And let's see. Is it Patrick Hill we're on next? Patrick, are you there?
I am. How you doing?
Very good.
Good. Yeah, I followed you for a while, Don. I was on your Udemy class there for a little bit, and actually, me and Joel are neighbors. I'm actually here in St. Louis.
Ah.
Not that I know him, but hopefully we'll get together one day and do some shooting together. It'd be great.
You're in St. Louis, Florida?
No, Missouri.
Oh, St. Louis. Yeah. That's where Columbia is. Got it.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. Well, cool. I really had a blast in St. Louis. We did a workshop there and we shot underneath the big train bridges over in the warehouse district. Man, that was a great place.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just blast. Cops.
Yeah, matter of fact, I'm up there this weekend. We got a Facebook group going up there this weekend to kind of do like an urban shoot. So it's gonna be kind of fun.
Oh yeah, fantastic place. Probably hot and sweaty right now though.
It has been, but actually today was a nice surprise. It was actually fairly decent weather today.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, enjoy your shot.
Thank you.
And glad to have you here. And I realize I missed Nat Seymour. Are you out there, Nat? Out there in Radio Land or Video Land or whatever this we can call it. Yes, I saw the little icon change. How are you, Nat?
Okay, here I am. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me now?
Sure can.
Doing fine, doing fine. So let's see. I was an aerospace engineer. Had a little bit of a camera hobby before that, and 2010 came, and my job went away. So I decided it was time to go for it and see if I could do photography full time. So since that point, I've found an awful lot of ways to do photography wrong and not not get business. I have along the way been paid to take portraits and business shoots, and I've done a lot of volunteer work for some local museums. I've had a lot of fun doing it.
Good.
But I am in the class because I don't have any good professional photography feedback on what I do. I have no idea, what corrections I should make, if I should at all. Not sure anything about commercial photography, how to present yourself and do the book and all the things that you were mentioning in the last webinar, how to get business in this area. I have no clue on that.
Yep, it's
So
really fascinating. I'm working with a photographer that lives in a very small town outside of Pennsylvania. And today we reached kind of a milestone. We now have identified 60 clients that Bill should be shooting for. Some magazines, some advertising agencies, and our goal is to get to 100. So he sent his email list out this morning. We had our chat. He sent the list out. I got a phone call from him back in 20 minutes. He said 3 art directors call me back. Wow.
That is totally awesome.
Yeah, I didn't have the heart to tell him, man, I did not expect that. I thought it'd take a little. Yeah, so 3 callbacks based on the fact that his book looks professional and he's only looking for clients that want to shoot the kinds of stuff that he does. One thing that you'll all hear in an interview with Scott Tepford, he said, I don't send my book to J.C. Penney's. I don't send my book to Sears. I don't send it out to Allstate Insurance. They're never going to hire me for the style that I do. I send it out to Triumph Motorcycles, Chevy cars, Coors beer, young people doing things and having fun. And that's what we're going to work on is you're going to, by the time we get halfway through this, everyone will be starting to develop that thing they really like, that style they really like. And then we start identifying who you want to shoot for and who would want to shoot with you. So that really makes it easy when you only have to market to 100 and 125 people. These the days of sending out a gazillion brochures and postcards, those are over. Market only to the people we want to work with. Nat, where are you calling in from?
Calling in from Seattle.
Seattle. I got so many friends in Seattle, it's amazing. Do you know Lorraine Lobdell?
I do not.
She used to be a host on Creative Live, the little blonde gal. She's just doing so well up there. I'm so proud of her. Brett's up there. Seattle's a great town for commercial photography. I don't think it's too saturated yet, even though other photographers who are working there would probably argue with me. But yeah, that just means they're not working hard enough. All right, Patrick, glad to have you here. And we have another Patrick Matthews. Patrick Matthews, are you out there, sir?
Yep, can you hear me?
I can indeed. Where are you calling in from?
How you doing? I am calling from Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yep. I am a firefighter who is actually at work right now.
Oh.
But able to take care of this. I do my shooting on the side, obviously, and I'm trying to do, make it a much more profitable venture. I do a lot of most of my stuff is sports, youth sports, high school sports.
Mm-hmm.
Get them in the paper.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's been some other jobs that have kind of snowballed from that, but trying to move on to bigger and better things.
Good. We'll try to make that snowball bigger for you. Now, when you say you're at work, are you currently fighting a fire?
No, I'm sitting
Okay.
in the firehouse.
Okay. I was going to say if we're keeping you.
Nah.
All right. Good.
You hear funny noises in the background,
Yeah. Well, excellent. I think you're going to really enjoy it. I think the kind of schedule you guys have will make this work real well for you. We have a photographer that joined Project 52 last year named Irene Liebler in Connecticut. And Irene, when she first started, was thinking she wanted to shoot like babies and maternities and stuff. And Irene is now really, if you've seen the website, that's her picture on the website of the girl floating away, made from 34 different shots. Now, Irene's a graphic designer in Connecticut and has been a graphic designer for most of her adult life, and is a very good graphic designer who uses a lot of photography. And she shared with us once on a broadcast that in the last 10 years that she's been a graphic designer with a website full of design that has photography in it, she has never had one photographer call her, contact her, or send her a mailer. That tells me that most of the photographers, commercial photographers in Connecticut, are morons. So, the reason she joined Project 52 is she knew she had a bunch of photography coming up this year and she was going to shoot it herself. She was kind of, in a way, she was like, well, why should I go and hire people who don't even want to contact me? I'll do it myself. And wow, has it taken off? Now she's, I think 70% of her income is now photography. So
wow,
good area for it.
Excellent.
Glad to have you here.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Good. I'm going to chat with Scott Williams. Scott, are you out there? Yes, he is. How are you, Scott?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, come a little bit
Good.
closer to your microphone.
Can you hear me okay now?
Much better.
Great. Well, I am coming to you from just north of Seattle as well. And so I'm like, I have that in common with one of the Patricks. And then the other Patrick I have in common is that I'm a career firefighter as well. So
there you go.
A couple of firefighters.
Very good.
And I'm picking up a camera in the last year or two after putting it down for several years and just trying to get myself into a regular schedule of shooting on a regular basis, and also pushing my creative boundaries and getting out of my comfort zone and hopefully opening a business with this.
Well, there's, I hear a lot of places where people will say, oh, this is a terrible time to start a photo business. Now, the interesting thing about me versus most of you is I've been doing this for 40 years. And I can tell you, I've heard that for, 40 years. It's a terrible time to start a photo business. It's a terrible time to start a pizza company too. Shoe store, bookstore, everybody's got problems, but guess what? That doesn't mean it can't be done, because you look around and you see all kinds of people doing it. My interview with Scott Tepfer, Jennifer Boomer, who lives in a tiny town in West Texas that's 3 hours from El Paso. She has to drive 3 hours to get on a plane. Is shooting for British Petroleum and Adidas and Nike and was it Wells Fargo Bank, and can you imagine saying, oh yeah, I want to be a commercial photographer, I want to live in a town in West Texas that has 1,400 people, nobody locks their doors, and I have to drive 3 hours to get to a plane to fly somewhere? I think most, if you told someone that, most people go, you're out of your mind. Well, she's not out of her mind, she's actually out shooting. So we're going to throw all those myths under the bus and we're going to focus on what works. So when you say just north of Seattle, are you in Everett area?
North of Everett a bit. I'm actually in Mount Vernon, which is directly, it's halfway between Vancouver and Seattle.
Yep. I spent the night in Mount Vernon there about a year ago. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, in the Skagit Valley where they grow all the tulips.
I didn't see any tulips.
Probably the wrong time of year.
I think it was. I think it was getting kind of cool out. Good to have you here.
Thanks, Don.
And we have Tammy Bogstrand. Tammy, what are you doing up so late?
Listening to you, Don.
So what is it, 3 in the morning?
It is 10 to 4 in the morning.
10
yeah.
to 4 in the morning. So I
Yes.
hope everybody else who's listening to this sees the commitment this crazy lady has to photography. Now,
I'm going to be going on vacation soon, so I thought I just needed to hear your voice and, just...
yeah,
before,
we're doing Saturday mornings for folks like you, right?
Yeah, I know, but I might not be able to this Saturday, and I'll be actually stateside next week from Friday, but, I'll be with family and things. I'm not quite sure I'm going to be... So I really want to get on this one, anyhow, this starter one here, so...
So, Tammy, where are you calling in from?
Denmark.
Denmark.
Yeah.
I think you get the box of donuts for being the farthest away.
Thank you. I love donuts.
You're coming to the States. What are you going to do in the States?
Visit my parents. I'm originally from the U.S., so I just happened over here. That's a long story. So I'm going to be over in Indiana where my parents live.
Well, that's kind of like Denmark.
It's flat and boring, yeah.
Yeah, I can see a lot of stuff. I was waiting for you to say you're going to go to Solvang, California, which is like a little Danish community out in the middle of the California high desert.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've never been in California, so.
Well, when you go to Solvang, you'll probably go, "Oh my God, I've been time warped back to Denmark." Very cool.
Yeah. You know, when I leave Denmark, I kind of want to leave Denmark. So.
Yeah, I understand. And Indiana's about as far away from Denmark as you can get. Tammy,
well, when I said I wanted to leave home, well, I left home then.
Yeah, you've been on the the free one, the essentials, since the beginning of the year. So
yes,
I remember your angst about deciding whether you wanted to pull the trigger or not. And
yeah.
Glad you did. Very glad
I
you did.
I've been following you since the Creative Live things, and it was just. I reached a point where I learned a lot from a lot of other Flickr people, and learning things, this and that, and I just needed to push myself. And I thought this the lighting essentials the Project 52 was just what I needed, and so I jumped on. I thought, well, okay, all the other people, Damien and who else, all the others, they said, well, let's all go pro. I go, okay, we'll go pro. So we held hands and jumped.
Excellent. Glad to have you here, Tammy.
Thank you. Glad to be here. I might toddle off to bed again.
You go. This will be recorded.
Okay, you guys all have a nice evening, I guess, for y'all.
Good night, Tammy. Folks, we sent out the second worksheet is the one that says, "Who are you?" Worksheet number 1. This is a very important self-assessment sheet that you need to work on. And if it takes you 2 hours to do it, you didn't do it. This will be something that you should work on for the next 2 weeks. Please do this. There's no grading it. There's no filling it out and sending it back to me. I wouldn't know what to do with it. And some of the questions are fairly sensitive. They are prompts for you to figure out what it is that you want to do and how you want to get there. There will be 3 times this year where we actually, 2 times this year, maybe a third. If we have normal attrition, there will be a third, but 2 times scheduled where we have one-on-one talks, 30-minute talks with each one of you, looking at photographs, talking about things. And this assessment sheet might be something that you pull out. It'll be just like the assignment that I just gave, where you do uh, your vision statement. These are things that you'll hold on to for quite a while. I suggest that you get a three ring binder, and you start putting these little worksheets in there. They'll always be, and there's no category yet for business, and that's because I don't have a business form up on there. It's hidden until I put something up. So when I put up another business thing, it'll go right to here. This self-assessment isn't really business, it's really for you. So you'll have an opportunity to take an assessment that will help guide you towards maybe the kind of work that you think you should be doing. It may also, as it did when I did this workshop, I did this worksheet myself. It also opens you up to maybe some of the challenges that you have presented yourself and didn't realize it. So please do it and enjoy it. And by the way, I wanted to introduce Stephanie. Stephanie had to run for something that she was late to. Stephanie Florence is in Idaho. She's been shooting for 20 years and starting to get serious about it 4 years ago. She watched me on Creative Live. Didn't everybody? And she's taking the location with minimal gear thing on Udemy. And I still don't know how they invited me to Creative Live, because I don't do weddings or babies. It seems like pretty much all they do these days are weddings and babies. But we got Project 52 going on here, so I'm glad that all of you are here, really jumping and waiting to go. So that's the assessment sheet. Please go over it and please fill it out. If you have any questions, that would be great. And we will have a time later, later in the month of August, where there will be a every month I do a catch-all webinar, not on the same night. It won't be on Thursday night. It might be a Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning. It might be a Tuesday or something. But I do a kind of a catch-all for those folks who we've done the assignment work, we've done the critiques, but there's just a little bit more to talk about. We'll do that. And if you have questions on it, that would be great. So I'll be getting those scheduled well in advance, by the way. I'll have the July one up right away. So, and then August, I'll post it at the same time. So before I let you go, questions. Anyone have any questions regarding the website or the assignments, how they are set up to go? Anyone?
Yeah, I got a question, Don. This is Brent.
Sure, Brent.
What is your thinking, or the application, if you will, of the private Facebook page? Is that kind of a place to put photos that we might not necessarily consider to be the definitive one for an assignment, but one that we want to share and maybe get some feedback on, or what's exactly the intent there?
The Facebook page is for those folks who just want a little more community. There will be nothing on the Facebook that applies to this to the assignments and things here. Facebook is just really, really fast, so it's so immediate. So people were asking for it, so we put it up there. So it's extracurricular. Think of it as an after-school club. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And we've got Brady up here. Hold on. All right, Brady, jump in there. How did I miss you, Brady? Were you offline for a second?
No, I've been here all along, waiting, patiently, hoping.
Huh.
But anyway,
that's
it's Brady Wolf.
Yeah, Brady.
Off in Seattle.
Again, another Seattle?
Another Seattle. 3 Seattle people. That's pretty awesome. I've been a residential contractor for the last 20 years. And in the last 3 years, I've been kind of ramping up my photography. And then in the last 6 months or so, I've been contemplating and kind of getting stuff in place to kind of make the move to being a professional photographer.
Okay. Are you working as a professional photographer now?
I could not technically say that. I've got all of the systems in place to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just trying to find my niche and my vision, and I actually shot as a second shooter for a couple weddings 2 weeks ago, just kind of get my feet wet on that, and that was an eye opener and horrifying and thrilling at the same time.
Yep. I don't mind doing weddings. I love weddings. If all I could do, if all I had to do was photograph it, that's it. It was just photography, I would really enjoy it. It's all the other crap, dealing with the brides and the moms and just, no. I'll let it. To me, to me, a wedding is kind of like a fashion shoot. Everybody's dressed up and there's good food. So, okay.
Anyway, just
go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, your worksheet's really helpful as far as just trying to figure out what I do want to kind of zero in on and looking at different aspects of commercial photography. And I think it kind of comes from my contractor background. Just the whole problem-solving skills seem to apply pretty well to commercial photography. Just like, how am I going to make this work? How am I going to picture this? And kind of transitioning from taking photographs to making photographs.
Exactly, exactly. There are a bazillion people out there with cameras that take photographs. I don't know if you all saw it, but Nokia is coming out with a 41 megapixel camera phone. 41 megapixels. And before anybody poo-poos it, let me tell you, the shots coming out of that thing are just simply breathtaking. It's going to be a $300 phone with a contract at Verizon. 41 megapixels with a built-in flash. So I don't think people will be making photographs with that. They'll be taking photographs with that. So I'm glad to have you here, Brady. Very, very glad to have you here. And I just realized that we've missed two at the bottom here. My screen is really strange. I got Tad and Ty. So Ty, hold real tight, and we'll talk to Tad real quick. Tad, are you there?
Okay, I'm here.
Oh, is it Tad or Thad?
Thad.
Thad. All right. Sorry.
No problem. I'm up here in southern Maine.
Ooh,
I've been
where in southern Maine?
In Wells.
Wells.
On the south coast. Yeah.
Oh, was I there? I just spent 7 days in the Fingers.
The Fingers.
The little finger islands that come down in South Maine. What's it called? They're called Bar Harbor, and
Bar Harbor.
Yeah, and my favorite place on the whole planet right now is Booth Bay. Oh. You're laughing. Why is that?
It's gorgeous. It's a beautiful place.
Yes, it is. They say it gets a little colder in the winter.
Yeah, you don't want to be near it in the wintertime.
Yeah. In fact, they said that the Booth Bay Harbor, actually, they don't plow it, I guess. If you're in Booth Bay and it snows, you're in Booth Bay until it thaws. Our
yeah,
harbor.
That's pretty. I mean, the roads there are so tiny, you really can't get through.
I just fell in love with that place so much. So, how long have you been shooting?
Seriously, probably the last 10 years. I've been kind of working at it, and I really wanted to make the jump to pro, but I need some guidance and probably some inspiration as well. So I was doing the Essentials course. I've done that for the last 20 assignments, and I really wanted to make the jump to the pro level. So here I am.
Well, glad to have you here.
Glad
to have you here. It's going to be a fun ride. Everybody who takes it enjoys it, and I want such a great success for everybody here. It'll be a blast. Plus, I need an excuse to come back to Maine. So
come on up.
I'll say, well, Thad, with your portfolio, I think I need a personal look at it. So tell my wife I'm going up for business, honey. I have a portfolio review to do. Very good.
I'm good with that.
And let's check in with Ty. Ty, are you out there? And we're waiting for the icon to change. There we go. Ty?
Yes, hello.
There you
This is
are.
Ty Wilda. I'm based in. Yep, this is Ty Wilda. I'm based in sunny Scottsdale, Arizona.
Oh.
I've been shooting for about 6 years. I'm another person that found you via Creative Live, and I've for the last couple of years I've really been trying to try to get as many paying jobs as possible. But I'm definitely in the same group of I don't have anybody to really, look at my work and tell me what I need to improve at. And I stumbled upon your website and Project 52 about 3-4 months ago, and I've been waiting and waiting for the July session to start, and I'm very excited for the upcoming year. So.
Fantastic. Being in Scottsdale, I probably have a little bit of an inside groove on Phoenix market for you.
Yeah, that's one thing that I was actually telling my wife that I was really excited about, the fact that you're here, and I'll get a little bit of an insight as to how the Phoenix market is. So I'm really excited about that.
It might be a good thing for us as we go through this to actually use your experiences here as a way of showing folks in other areas how they get out and find those addresses and those names and the people they need to contact.
Yep.
I'll tell you this, and I'll tell everybody. Some places are easier places to become photographers. That's just the bottom line. It's easier in New York City than it is in Omaha, because there's so many more clients. The neat thing is, as that was the incredible case, say 10 years ago, that whole thing is crumbling now. So what you want to do as a photographer is stress where you are. That's why Scott Tepfer lives in Ventura, and Jake Stengel lives in Bend, Oregon, and Jennifer Boomer lives in some little town in West Texas that I can't remember the name of. It doesn't matter where you live anymore. It really, really doesn't. And you can build that momentum throughout the country by going for the kind of clients that you want to shoot for and that want to shoot for you. So while we're having you do food and we're going to have you do some product and all these kinds of things, because it's great bread and butter. One of my Project 52 in the other group sent me a note and said, and she shoots pets, high-end pets. That's her stuff, lifestyle, pets and their owners. Very, very good editorial shooter. Well, she got this job to shoot the pets and the owners for this website. Great paying job, and they said, "Oh, by the way, we need a poster of some food being poured into a bowl. Do you do still life?" Well, she'd been through the Project 52, is going through, and she goes, "Well, I can do that." And so she picked up another $2,500 gig to do the poster shot of the still life. So that's my goal, is to make sure that people can do a little bit of the things they need to do to keep the bread and butter jobs coming in while you stretch your wings into those particular areas that you really want to do. So I'm not going to turn everybody into generalists, but I want everybody to be able to do a little bit of the general stuff. So great to have you here, Ty. Fantastic.
Thank you. Yep, I'm very excited. So thank you very much.
All right. I'm going to let everybody go unless there's any other questions. I'm not in a rush, but at all. But if you have a question, pop in and ask me. I'm here. Okay. Well, that's great. I will be posting this video. Will go on to the assignment blog, and I'll show you where. Back. I'm going to go back. Whenever I do the videos, they go on the page that we're discussing. So in this particular case, it's the photograph a stranger page, because this is assignment 1. They're both on here. That'll go on this page, and they go right up towards the top. Underneath this, there will be this video, and when we do the stranger recordings and we do the stranger critiques, they'll go above this. So these pages become very content rich. You can also use comments down here. Anyone who leaves a comment, I get that comment. This is a great way for people to have conversations as well. If you want to hang out over at the Flickr page, the LE Flickr page, that would be great as well. You'll find probably the nicest, most friendly and helpful group on Flickr. And you'll have people there that are halfway through this course, and you'll find people who've been through the course all hanging out and chatting photography. So everyone have a great evening, and I will see you I'll see you next Thursday, and we'll look at stranger pictures. Have a good night.